Often we don't know.
You always influence, like your presence is influencing.
Yeah.
And
but we can be more or less influencing, right?
Yeah, but Katja, I don't know how you see it, but I think like also in ceremonies, it's like you have so many different like facilitators, and it can depend on just the presence of the facilitator or the whatever robe they were or whatever it is. It's all influencing the scenery, the ceremony.
Yeah, completely agree. So much is like energetic, even without like no words spoken, nothing. It influences a lot. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I also get kind of the dilemma here with, what's the most ethical thing to do. For me, in those moments, I really also always try to come back to myself, and how I approach it is, okay, what does actually feel is the best for the other person and the overall situation, given now taking my personal interest in everything completely out of the equation, and then seeing, is that like aligned with my truth, and can I like good-heartedly just say that, recommend that or not. And in one moment it might be one decision, and the other moment it might be different, but there's this area has so many like little micro moments or situations where there's no guideline or how to approach things, where you just need to rely on kind of your heart and your gut.
It's the same in coaching in general, right? There's so many times when we just don't know in that moment what the right thing to do is. And yes, everything is influence, right? Just by the way that we show up, just by the way a coach holds space, just by what they're wearing or how they look at you or how they listen, So I think this idea of neutrality is certainly a myth. But then, there's still a huge difference from that must have felt really good, right? And how did that make you feel? Versus what's going on for you right now? Well, what was going on for you in the moment? What impact did it have on you? I mean, you're all inquiring, you're all leading in a way through a curiosity of paying attention or inviting attention to the inner world, but one is very leading and the other one is, more neutral, like less leading. So I think it's helpful to at least develop an awareness of how we are influencing, and then making a conscious decision whether to lean into that or to lean away from it. I think that's an important skill for coaches to learn. I'm not pro or against leading or guiding necessarily. I know some people do a fantastic work being very active during a session. And one of the questions I got in Vancouver last summer was, well, on MDMA therapy, it's a vital part of the process that the therapist is intervening and guiding during the session. So yes, absolutely, there's an argument that this can have tremendously positive effect, but it does place a lot of responsibility onto the practitioner. So yeah, I just want coaches out there listening to this really asking themselves, in and outside of psychedelic spaces, to what extent am I influencing, and am I aware of how I might be influencing, and to what extent am I choosing to lean into that or lean away from that, or just let it happen and trust the process,
Yeah, but I don't think there's a way how you cannot influence, because just the fact that people also come to you as a specific person is because they even want that influence of your energy. They want to be coached by you. They want to like be in your energetic field. They want to have this approach. So in a way, they are wanting a certain influence, but this like fine line of when am I introducing an idea and when am I just like letting the container have the influence it naturally has.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, right? An interesting moment for any practitioner, again, in and outside of psychedelic spaces, when somebody comes to me to work with me, regardless of what that is about, and I get the sense that they really seek me for who I am and my energy. And, I then really talk about that Because if I get that feeling, I kind of want to level the playing field, because I'm just a guy, I'm just like, what do I know? Really, like, I might have some experiences, I might have had some relevant experiences, I might have some relevant information, but really, if I get the sense that somebody is seeking guidance, I would want them to be their own guide. That's me, right? Other practitioners might lean into that and really own that they're guiding and that people seek them for it. So again, I think it's a decision we have to make. As long as people are aware that these kind of dynamics are happening, then we can make decisions to, let that happen or even use that. But when it comes to psychedelics, I would feel a bit like, oof, you're placing a lot of things on me here. And we can hold that lightly, agree to hold that lightly, have some kind of contracting conversation about it, or I can just go with it. And I think something that I'm a bit concerned about is that there's coaches out there that I've met who really, their ego is taken away by that, and people start really looking up to them and putting them on this pedestal and seeking them out because of their energy. And it does something to the ego. And if we're not careful, I think it can I've seen it take people away from doing really good practice to becoming some sort of spiritual guru. And at that point, I don't think it's as helpful as it could be anymore. But also, I very much believe in coaching, right? There's lots of really helpful guruism out there. It doesn't have to be, bad for people. Yeah, I don't know. I'll pause here, see what you think.
I don't see it as either or. I can see how like both of them go along, and it's not so much for me about like the spiritual guru in the coaching space, but rather what I meant with that you cannot not influence. You probably both agree that certain people, when we meet them or when we're around them, something in their energy activates our energy. We just like feel different, or we feel more open, whatever it is. And it's not that the other person needs to do something or guide or say anything. It's just this pure, like, it's more on a vibrational level. And with that you have different vibrational energetic containers with different people. So in a way, it's influence as well. And that we gravitate towards where we feel there could be expansion, that the like energetic field of the other person is allowing us to go into that expansion easily. And that's like very subtle. It's a very spiritual approach, but it's like very subtle. And I do operate in that like a lot. That's how I seek people out. It's not so much a rational mind decision, like what are the facts and do they really, I don't know, fit all those criteria? No, very often it's like a gut decision. It's about what energy am I perceiving from that. So I can also see how people come to you and they want to be exactly in that energetic container with you, but without you being the guru for them.